Need to start this video by saying a big thank you to Miss Rachel Reeves, who has single-handedly fucked the entirety of the British nation. And we here today at the Brothers in Business are going to try and right a few of those wrongs and help you to increase the money that you are making each day, week, month and year throughout 2026. Thanks again, Rachel.
No worries, Kia.
Very disappointed with this most recent budget that's come out. Again, it doesn't seem like anyone has benefited. It's been a complete disaster for all people involved, whether it's working class, upper class, rich, middle, even now working. You are being penalised by this UK government for literally doing the same thing that you've always done, whether you are working 2 jobs, 40 hours a week, part-time, full-time, whether you earn 6 figures, 5 figures, whatever it is, everybody in this budget has been fucked. And it seems like single-handedly now, the Labour government has gone after agriculture and farmers, they've gone after pensioners, they've gone after young people, they've gone after older generation, they've gone after working class, upper class, middle class. Everyone has been absolutely fucked. And it is no surprised to see that this Labour government is the most unpopular government that we've ever had, according to the polls. And that's no easy feat.
No, not especially when we've had, disaster prime ministers all across the entire history of the UK. But, what can we do about it? And really, we've got to work with the tools that we've got, really, haven't we? And we want to try and help people understand what they can do with the tools that they've got in this economy. And, it's nowhere near as easy as it was, but we're going to try and structure something to people to hopefully make the best of a bad situation.
We're here to help, ladies and gentlemen. Well, first and foremost, you've hit on a really good point, and that really is a strong start point for us, which is mindset. And mindset comes at the literal heart of everything we do. How we do some things is how we do all things, right? So if you're the type of person that because they get bad news immediately goes into self-destruct, bury their heads in the sand type mode, then there's not much that can be done. And so a strong body can only follow a strong mind. And so really our actions are determined by our thoughts. And so first and foremost, we need to make sure that our mindset is in the right place. So when things happen like the budget that comes out, and now we have been twice bent over by Miss Reeves in accounts, that we cannot allow that bad news or negative impacts from external sources impact what we do on a daily basis, because there is always an excuse, there is always a reason why what we are trying to do on a daily basis could be disrupted, could be prevented, could have somebody else trying to mess with our trajectory. And if we allow those external forces to happen and to impact our journey, then we're never going to be able to get to the final destination. And for us to be able to truly do that, we have to be almost tunnel visioned in our mindset and bulletproof. So the first thing when it comes to looking at trying to increase your value, because I want to not only just talk about increasing the salary. The salary is a byproduct of the value that you bring 99 times out of 100. And if you are adding lots of value to multiple people, then you will be remunerated for it. So to be able to add value to people, you have to first of all understand that. And again, it all comes back to mindsets. You have to have that bulletproof mindset, regardless of what is happening in the outside world, whether it's sort of geographically, whether it's economically, within reason. If you're trying to start a budding business and all of a sudden Israel, Gaza, or Ukraine, Russia kicks off on your doorstep, yes, there's obviously immediate adjustments that become more higher priority. But if you're fortunate enough to live in a stable country with stable economy-ish, then the mindset and who's in power any changes or slight changes around you should not impact that mission that you're on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And we're lucky being in the West and in the UK, same as it, people born in France or Germany or the US, that we've got I suppose, privilege, you could say. And it is really against those that live in much poorer countries. And realistically, a lot of people can start businesses now on just a smartphone. And, you could create a multi-million pound business just from on your phone, creating, you can sell product on eBay, you can sell product on Amazon, you can sell product to, knocking door sales, you can come up with courses. There's a vast array of products and services that can be sold just from your phone. And most people in this country have got the access to using a mobile phone. And that means that they've got the capability. It's just learning how they'd get there and the value that got added to make that happen.
100%. I don't want to get into, because there's two ways to start to accumulate wealth. The best way is always to create something for yourself, again, that adds value to as many people as you can possibly add to. Now, that's a completely separate topic, which is starting a business, which we've talked about in other previous episodes, and massively important. And that is the ultimate end goal for everyone. I truly believe that everyone should own a business, because if you have a specific skill set that is valuable to people, you can sell that and market it to people and to other businesses who will then buy you or buy your skills and then utilize those skills in their business. So if you're a videographer or if you're very good at marketing, you should be able to outsource that skill to businesses through your own company rather than being an employee within somebody else's. But that's the ultimate end goal, because there are so many benefits that you get through having your own limited company. But straight away, most people are working within another business for somebody else. And so, first and foremost, understand that your salary usually is a direct link to the value that you bring. Now, we can always do more, all of us. Everyone can do more. And the reality is, most of us now, when we go into our jobs, we've become so complacent. And this is coming from people that, look, we employ 15 staff. We're looking to turn over £5 million in the next 2 years in turnover, and that's annually. We're just shy of that now, and then hopefully by the close of 2030, we'll be hitting 8 figures in turnover annually. So we have a business, we employ people, and we've been doing it for 12 years. So this isn't just guesswork from someone that hasn't got a clue. We employ a team, we like to pay them well, we do our best to continue to incentivize, but also train and grow our team to become more valuable, because we recognize the more valuable they are to us, the better it impacts our company and the more we grow. Because if we don't all increase and improve our skill set, the business doesn't grow. So for the people that are in employment, first and foremost, remember your value is directly, or your salary is directly linked to the value that you bring. And so to begin to start getting paid more, we all have to do a self-assessment based off of the work and the tasks that we're currently doing. And unfortunately, most people nowadays don't even have a guideline to tell them what good is. So everybody's turning up to work, most people nowadays, and they go and start their job, or they turn up and their managers haven't outlined a set of targets or even outlined a set of principles to define what good looks like. What is a good job? What is a good day's work? What's a good result here? And imagine it like a football team where you're Arsenal, Man United, or Man City, one of the bigger teams. Let's just stick with Arsenal and Man City at the minute.
Yeah,
United are struggling.
I wouldn't do that one.
But at the start of the season, or before the start of the season, they set out clear goals, clear visions for that season of where they hope to end up, what they expect to win, and they set out a standard for that season of what good and great looks like. Because if you just went out there and spent every week kicking a ball around and first game you get a 1-0 win and you go, is that good? Well, I don't know. Is it? I don't know. It sounds good. We won. All right, next week we get a draw. Is that good or bad? Well, I don't know. We got a point. No one knows, and you lose a couple of games on the trot. Well, is that bad? Well, who knows? What was the aim for the season? And unless you've got a goal in mind, unless you've got a target or a destination, nobody knows what good looks like. So do that self-assessment. And if you're in a job at the minute, you don't even know what good looks like, that's step one.
Ty, I'm sure there's something missing here. We're having a great video, but I don't know, maybe you do.
Oh, I know what's missing. Hit that subscribe button now, down below. Subscribe.
And sometimes, and if you are in that position, then you could stand up way ahead of anyone else in the organisation, because chances are if you yourself haven't got any goals, no one else has probably got any goals either, especially in your department, which is the main one you're trying to grow in. So speak to your manager and just say, hi, I really want to try and add to my value. How can I do that or what can I do to do that? And you tell me and give me some goals. I really want to work on myself. And by doing that, it's going to help drive the team. I can pass them on to everyone else in my department as well if you want me to do that. And you're almost then doing the manager's job for them. But at least if you've asked the question, you're way above the rest of the pack.
That's exactly what I'm sort of getting at, is the fact that, again, nobody is going to hold your hand for you. If nobody is giving you clear guidance, you need to go out and seek it. And unfortunately, the reality is businesses can sometimes end up where everyone's too busy, everyone's running around in the day-to-day, and nobody is bothered about looking to develop within. Nobody's looking to incentivize the team. No one's looking to actually say, look, we've done a good job. Let's reflect. Have we had a good quarter? Have we had a good month? Have we had a good week? Have we had a good day? And most managers, they don't even bother to do that self-assessment and that assessment. So if you don't know what good looks like, then the first thing that you need to do is stand up, speak to them and raise it. So you understand what good looks like and what it should look like. Because sometimes in business, and this is where competition comes in, because I'm highly competitive and I treat business as a game, like a sport, with a goal in mind. And if I fall short, I set an ambitious target. And if I fall short, then I know I've still completed good work and I've pushed closer to the actual ultimate end goal. Now, if, for example, somebody comes along on the same set of targets like me and you do with sales for the year, you're currently behind. Comes as no surprise. But it's not by much. And it's a good to and fro for two of us, where you've got a set of goals and targets where both of us are pushing each other to do better. But in business, it's very easy for everybody, like I said, just to continue on with the status quo. And if you're not speaking up and shouting about it, you don't get noticed. And unfortunately, in businesses nowadays, especially some of the larger businesses where you've got 30, 50, 100 staff, you can, and it's very likely you end up being a number in a machine. And regardless of what you think and what should be the case, we can all live in la land of what should be. I like to live in the land of what is. And what is the case is that the loudest gets heard and the brightest gets seen. And so if you are trying to do your best job while sitting with your head down and not communicating, then you will struggle to get noticed. Whereas you should be loud and proud about the quality of work you're doing. So again, first and foremost, be loud, find out what good looks like, speak to your managers and shine and ask that question. That is one of the first things that you should be doing when it comes to increasing your salary, is taking that self-assessment of what good looks like and then making sure you enact on it.
Well, we even had someone who joined our organisation as a manager and constantly berated us and barraged us in a good way of going, what more can I do? What more can I do? And then doing tick that box. What more can I do? We'll do that. Okay, yeah, do it now. Next one. Oh, do it again. And just constantly just just completed tasks, and you're like, right, well, we've got to give him a salary increase. He's added that much value. He does everything that we ever ask him to do. And you just think, bloody hell. So again, if you get to that level with your employer, then you're basically backing them so far into a corner that they can't do anything but increase your salary because you've added that much value, like you're saying.
And this is just the thing that most people miss, because they just think that they're doing their job. And it's a sad, again, I go back to what I said at the beginning, mindset. And 90% of people go, well, I'm just doing my job. It's not, why should that be? It's not my job. And they don't realize that this level of that sort of destructive mindset where it's just, well, it's not my responsibility, is only detrimenting themselves, because the reality is when you take responsibility for things that even you might not need to or shouldn't have to, that's where growth can take place. So just because something isn't being done within a business, it's not for you to just say, oh, well, that is just how it is. You need to be the one that changes that. And you need to be the one that also really pioneers for that change, because not only will it change the business, it will change you first and foremost, because you are first and foremost the most important person in your life and within that business. It'll also change the business as a whole. But once you've established what good looks like, i.e. what is a good job, second of all, we then need to put some actual targets against it. So some actual measurable targets. So use the SMART analogy, which I'll test you here, stands for
measurable.
No, S first.
I know it's S first. What's the S again?
Oh, we've got him, ladies and gentlemen. Put him on the spot. S stands for specific.
Specific, measurable. Time. I know that it's time based.
I'll put you out your misery. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based. So when you're setting goals, make sure that they are SMART. Because, for example, if I'm a personal trainer and I've got a client that I'm working with, first of all, I need to ask the client, what does good look like? What does good look like? What are you trying to achieve here? And I say, well, I'm trying to lose some weight. I'm like, right, okay. That doesn't help, because how am I going to know how much? I don't know by when. Is it possible? I.e., if they're 20 stone and they're trying to get down to 10 stone and they've got a week, it's not possible. So when you set those goals, make sure that they're SMART. And then once you've had that conversation with your managers and your team, make sure that once they're set in stone, that not only do you have the goals in place, but you also are strong in your conviction and you're confident in asking, what do I get off the back of achieving these goals? Because you are directly increasing the value of the business that you're working within, rather than just doing it for yourself. You're not just doing it to be, you're not a charity. You're there doing a job. You deserve to be rewarded for the work and the value that you create. And so when you do that, first and foremost, you need to be discussing what the actual outcome for you is going to be off the back of those goals being hit. And so it's really important to not only set the SMART goals, but then also speak with them and say, look, what the hell am I going to be getting off the back of this? Because I can see that the value is X. I want Y. If somebody came into my business and said, I'll save you £20,000 a year net, I want 10, but without me, you'll save 0. No brainer. I'm paying them 10 grand a year, minimum, straight away, because I'm not making the saving otherwise. And with them, I can make 10 grand and everyone's a winner. It's 50-50. And again, good business is creating good outcomes for everyone. The ultimate goal of business is creating win-win-win scenario, so everybody involved can have a drink and everybody involved actually comes out on top of those style of transactions.
Yeah, that's the way we try and work on onboarding new customers. You have to create a win-win scenario for everyone, because otherwise, if someone loses within the transaction, then you're just going to resent the person that you're actually doing business with, because you think, well, you're twisting my arm on this one. Like, I don't really want to do business with you. And I've heard that sort of story loads before with customers trying to resource product to us because they don't want to deal with someone who is just not flexible at all.
Right. You definitely need to be looking for win-win scenarios everywhere you go. It is exactly the reason why, like you said, customers work with suppliers and vice versa, and why you would find that repeat business taking place. Because if you go into a business and you are consistently screwed, or the outcome of the money that you've spent doesn't equal a good return, you won't keep going there. Apart from casinos, for some reason, is the weird outlier on that example. For some reason, the house always wins, but yet people find themselves going back and back. I mean, I've never been mad into gambling, to be honest. We went to Vegas, didn't we, and had a bit of a.
You had a mare.
I had a bit of a mare. I mean, it wasn't crazy. It was only like $500-$600 over the course of a week, which. It's less.
You basically just gave to me, really.
Yeah, it's about what I made. Salad cookie crumbles sometimes in Vegas. To be fair, a good time was had by all. But, win-win scenarios are the optimal. And look, there are win-win scenarios in casinos because of obviously the marketing and the opportunity of a win-win for people is because it is almost like robbing Peter to pay Paul. I.e., some people you see with massive wins coming out on top and you don't really hear about the massive losses on the other end. So you just see the opportunity of a big win. People buy into it. So that sort of elation and that sort of feel good, I suppose, all of the imagine. I didn't
pulls people in.
I didn't win, so I wouldn't really know. But, I can.
It's the free drinks.
Yeah, I can imagine all the serotonin coming off of a big win if you've just had landed at a roulette wheel or won a blackjack. Would be good. Must be nice. We'll have to go back. But create those win-win scenarios. And again, when you're speaking with your manager or speaking with somebody that you employ or whoever's in control of your salary, make sure that you go at it with a win-win mindset, because too many people look at things from a what's in it for me type of mindset.
Like, cost of living's gone up. I can't afford my groceries.
Too many people go into meetings and expect salary increases because of inflation or because of cost of living or because of Rachel Reeves and her budget. And it is unfortunate that those things are taking place, but they're also impacting businesses. And then people will say, well, just put your prices up. But then that increases the cost of the actual good or service to the consumer anyway. So it then creates this consistent cycle of everybody just increasing their prices. It's like when Rachel Reeves tackles landlords. What do you think landlords are going to do when their costs go up? Rent will just go up. And it's this consistent cat and mouse game of roundabout price increases. And that is what happens to inflation getting out of hand, because everyone is constantly putting their prices up to pay for things. And so it dilutes the value of the money or the commodity that you're trying to sell. So it's never as straightforward as just put your costs up. So again, I go back to the mindset of win-win. Never look at things through the lens of what's in it for me, because nobody cares about you. In a sense,
no one else does care about you, really, I suppose, like you're saying. You care about yourself, don't you? So no one else does care about you.
That's what I said.
No, I was just emphasising.
I like it.
It's very important.
Right, double down. No one cares about you. Simple as that. But no, it is really important, because nobody does care about your outcome, really, outside of your immediate family or anybody that is directly tied to your financial situation. So if you're married and have children at home, they are directly tied to your financial situation. The better you do, the better they do. Therefore, they are obviously bothered. Now, using that same mindset, the better you do, the better they do, win-win. You need to be thinking about it when you approach businesses. And too many people are working their jobs thinking, I deserve a pay rise. I need this. Cost of living's gone up. I deserve more. I'm this. I'm special. I'm great. Tax the rich. I need their money because I'm amazing. I'm this. And it's because of this selfish mindset that we've found ourselves in now. We've lost this local community and we've lost this willingness to actually help thy neighbour. Very biblical, but it's true. And looking after others is one of the best, quickest and best ways that you can actually see, almost like that law of attraction. You will see returns back yourself. So when you look after others and when you think and approach this problem with a how does everybody win mindset, it changes the way you look at things. So you go into a meeting with your boss, and rather than say, why do I deserve more money? How can I get more money? What's in it for me? Me. You start to think, right, well, how do I have everybody win in this? Because if I go in there demanding more money for doing the same job, the boss is losing. The business is losing because they're paying you more. Now, is it fair that they should be paying you more after a year of employment? Of course it is. Of course it is. But if you're not adding any more value to the business, you're just doing the same job, then the business, regardless of how you look at it, loses because they are paying more money for someone to do the same job that it was doing 12 months ago, but now it's costing it more, which again puts its prices up, reduces its margins, which means to only account for that, it means its prices has to go up, which means it might become uncompetitive, or it means the consumers ultimately is paying more. So if you go into it with a lens of, well, how do I get the business to win as well? That ultimately yields a better result for you and for them, and you get more out of it.
You're standing out again, way above anyone else. Not even just in that organisation, but anyone else in general. You know, we don't often, with us, we're a bit different. We do have people coming and saying this, how can I have more value? Because that's what we have as our, the culture of our business. But many businesses don't have that. And if they encouraged it more, they'd find that they get more out of it, and you would create more of those win-win situations that we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, the fact is, businesses are struggling as it is. Against global competition now is through the roof. Globalization has well and truly happened now. In the 21st century, everyone has an internet connection. Everyone has an iPhone. We've got 2 iPads sat on the desk surrounded by TVs and emails and Wi-Fi connection just floating about. So everyone's connected. Businesses are connected. And the other thing as well, through social media and cheap forms of marketing, or cheaper, almost free forms of marketing. We were at an event with Gary Vee, and his big thing was, why are you not posting every single day? If you want to be seen and you've got a message to share and you want to help people, or you've got a product to sell or a service to sell, why are you not sharing that every single day? And his big one was, because it's fucking free. It's free. You can share your business every single day. And if you're not doing that, why? It's free. It's fucking free. Over and over he was saying that. And that's the reality of it, where this globalization is taking place, and the businesses that aren't competing and doing that are falling behind. And if businesses are stagnating, then how are they ever going to pay their staff more? So again, think about the type of business that you're working within and have a look at the general landscape. Are they talking about development? Are they talking about innovation? Are they talking about growing? Are they talking about ways that they can change and pivot and get with the times and adapt? And if they're not, and they're just saying, well, we'll do the same thing we did last year, there's a big red flag. Because again, for me, remember, overarching all of this, if you find yourself doing all of these things within a business and actually getting the results, and they are not paying you more after you've added value, immediately fuck them off, because that is a bad business. Because exploitation does happen. People do look to maintain salaries and wages and not care to look for the finer detail. Some businesses are just shit. Simple as that. And they don't understand this, and they don't understand value and fair exchange. And so if you find yourself in one of those businesses where you have a chat with your manager and they're not looking at trying to increase your salary or increase your value and increase your skill set and improve your skill set, get out of there. because you will waste your time in a business like that and you will remain stagnant. You won't grow. The business won't grow. The team around you won't grow. And if the business or any business is not growing, it's dying, because simply based off of inflation, if that business turns over £1 million in year one and then does the exact same in year 2 and 3, that £1 million due to inflation is worth less and less. And so eventually that steady stagnation will cause death over time.
Well, it is about looking at this, and this is going back to what we both said, that if you go and speak to your manager or boss or your direct line manager and say, I want to increase my value, and their reply to something like that is, we don't really do that here, then you're definitely in the wrong job. And especially if you're the person that's actually listened to what we've said and gone and done it, come work for us. Or find an employer that's, again, very similar, because you want to grow as much as they want to grow, or you want to find someone who wants to grow on the same level. And if they don't, then it's just not going to work.
Exactly. Madam, this is Greg's. We don't do this kind of thing. And it does, these bigger businesses fall foul to it, but Greg's, remember, is still a franchise. Franchises still own the store that they're in, and the profit, they take the large percentage of profits from that store. So your manager should still, and I'll tell you a story actually, this is incredible. And this just goes to show some actual numerical data that actually backs all of this up, right? We'd gone to the Whittington Arms near me, great pub. Not going to give the location, don't want people to learn about outside my house. However, Whittington Arms, you might be able to find it.
Possibly.
Front of house staff sits me and friend down. Both of us not that hungry, but she's attentive. She's on the ball. She's taking drinks orders really fast. She is controlling this whole floor. And there's probably only 30 tables. It's not a massive place, but she's controlling all of them. People are laughing. She's working from table to table, speaking to everyone. They're all loving her, laughing at her. I'm overhearing comments from the other tables saying how incredible she is. And she handed us our menus. And so we start looking to order. And we go for a little camembert sharer to start. Typical. And then when it comes to our mains, we've gone for the seafood linguine. She's gone straight away. She's gone, garlic pizza bread goes with that. You need to get one. Trust me, take my word for it. Absolutely game changer. Really good decision. And I was like, really? I don't know, we're that hungry. She said, trust me, you won't regret it. And straight away, we're like, all right, go on then. Then when it comes to other little things, and she'd upsold straight away, then we hear her going around, and then with the seafood linguine, she said, you're adding scallops on that as well. Trust me, they're really good. All of a sudden, both of us had spent an extra £3 each on scallops and an extra £8 on this little garlic pizza bread. So we've just spent another, 14, 15 quid on our food on one table, just because she's upselling and she's understanding, how can I add more value? Most people go, well, I'm just a waitress. I'm just there to take orders. But she was there warming the room up. And the way she was speaking and talking about it, it wasn't just, would you like any sides?
Yeah.
And there's a whole methodology to it. She then did the exact same thing to 3 other tables that we saw. And again, she'd upsold within the space of maybe 15 minutes. She'd upsold about 200 quid's worth of stuff, which is absolutely mental to think that if she's adding £200 in 15 minutes, let's reduce it down a bit and extrapolate it out over the hour. She might be doing 150, 450 an hour in upsales, whether it's drinks or food or sides or additions on. That's a lot of money to a restaurant for one person to be adding in. And then when it came to desserts as well, she didn't go, do you want to look at the desserts menu? She just put them down and left. Because she knows people go, I'm not really having a dessert. But if she just puts them down, people will look at it and go, oh, I wasn't going to, but it does look pecky. I've probably got room. Should we share one? And all of a sudden, you've now added such a great deal of value where now, let's say in the course of an evening, even if it was only 10 people that order a £10 dessert that weren't going to place it anyway, it's £100 a day. And if you're open 300 days, that's £30,000 a year.
Just salary.
Just
salary.
for putting a menu down. It's a tiny thing. And that is what people fail to realize in business when it comes to value addition and when it comes to good business and when it comes to people being trained well, because I'm sure some of it was just her character and personality. Some of it would have been her training, and whoever has managed her and trained her to do that, if it wasn't her herself, deserves an A star, because that for me is great business. And that's someone that understands value proposition and upselling. And I couldn't believe it. So yeah, shout out if you're watching Whittington Arms. She was good. 10 out of 10. I was going to give her a job if I thought she would be able to be, if she was going to emulate that person-to-person performance. But
and I'm sure that we'd find that if the business is managed poorly and if they don't know the data of how much she specifically sells against other waitresses and all that sort of stuff, then you'll find that probably in a month, 2 months, not that long, if she's poorly managed and they don't reward her for that, she'll be off and she'll be going somewhere else. Because that then comes to, it's not her, it's the bad company and bad management that is managing her. So it's that she's far better to go somewhere else and just get a different job and improve her skills there instead.
And that's why we can all do more and we can all be better. But it starts with yourself. It starts, as I said, I go back to the most important thing is mindset. Your mindset is the most important thing. No one's going to hand out anything for free. You have to work for it. You have to ask the questions. You have to have the right mindset. And it's like an attraction mindset. You can't just expect something to happen for nothing without a catalyst. You have to be the change and have that conversation. Look in the mirror. Think about what more you can do. Don't blame everyone else. Don't blame the economy. Don't blame Rachel Reeves. Don't blame the government. Don't blame your boss or your upbringing or your teacher or the colour of your skin or your gender. Just think what you can do. Do more. Do better. And trust me, you will earn shit ton more money having that mindset than you would having the victim mindset going, it's not my fault. Because trust me, it is. What a sad reality we live in where you actually have to work and add value to achieve success. Shocking that, isn't it, Code?
It's terrible.
But I hope that after watching this video, you've had a bit of a mind frame switch just to show the importance of self-accountability and to have you understand what you can actually do to make a difference in your life and within your own financial situation. It doesn't matter whether you're a plumber, a janitor, or whether you're a CEO. Everybody needs to follow the same mindset and the same set of goals to be able to increase their value. So I hope it's helped. Remember to subscribe for more videos that are going to help you find success in your life. If you ever want to reach out to us, you can find us on social media at Brothers in Business. We look forward to hearing from you. Remember to like and comment, and we'll see you in the next video.